Well, somehow we've already reached the end of our mental health awareness series. Before we wrap this up, we just want to say thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who listened this month, everyone who shared episodes, everyone who sent text messages and emails, comments, or opened up about experiences that aren't always easy to talk about in this field. We know firsthand that these conversations can be uncomfortable sometimes, but they are so important and they do matter. Over the last few weeks, we revisited some really important stories and conversations from across the podcast. We talked about accumulation of trauma exposure and the scenes that stay with you long after you leave them. We talked about burnout, not just as an individual struggle, but as something that slowly becomes normalized in forensic culture. We talked about work-life balance, or the lack thereof, on-call culture, exhaustion, unhealthy coping mechanisms, and the reality that so many forensic professionals spend years functioning in survival mode without even realizing how much the job is taking away from them. We talked about recovery too, and what it looks like to rebuild routines and boundaries and life outside of work after burnout or chronic stress has already taken hold. These last two episodes in particular, we talked about something that can feel really hard to admit out loud in this profession. Some of us may reach a point where staying is no longer sustainable. And in these scenarios, the healthiest decision is stepping away. It could be stepping away from a role or an agency or a leadership position or even the profession itself. And we are here to assure you that doesn't mean you're a failure. We especially want to thank Matt Davis, Letty Ramirez, Jason Cole, Kat Pope, and Alice White for being willing to speak so openly about their experiences. These are not easy conversations to have publicly, especially in a profession where so many people were taught to just push through it and keep going no matter what. And Alice White's conversation especially hits a little different right now. As many of you know, she's currently facing some significant health challenges of her own, and hearing her reflect on burnout, stress, boundaries, leadership, and learning when enough is enough, it just carries an even deeper weight now. So we're really grateful for her and her honesty and vulnerability and everything she's contributed to this field and the community over the years. So, if there is one thing we hope people take away from this series, it's this. Mental health in forensics is not just about teaching people how to, quote unquote, cope better. It's not just about therapy and meditation apps and self-care checklists and medication and resiliency training. Those things can absolutely help, but they are only part of the conversation. This is also about workload and staffing issues and leadership and organizational culture and boundaries and support systems and creating environments where people don't have to sacrifice themselves just to succeed in this field. Although this can feel really heavy, there is good news. We really do think the field is changing. We're seeing more people willing to talk openly about stress, burnout, trauma exposure, and wellness more than ever before. We're seeing more research, more conference sessions, more awareness, more people just being honest, which is actually why we are so excited to officially announce this year's summit. Drumroll, please. Brrr. Mental Health in Forensics Summit. So if you've been here a while, you already know what our summits are about. But if you're new here, our summits are kind of like attending a virtual conference, but we try to make it super fun and engaging. which is hard to visualize on an online platform, but I promise you, you will gain new friends after the summit. Of course, it is completely free to attend, and we always schedule it during National Forensic Science Week. It's our way of giving back to this community and supporting the people doing this work every day. If you'd like to join us, of course, we would love to have you. So we are going to drop the link in the show notes. You can sign up and be on our VIP waitlist. You'll be the first to know when free tickets are available. Oh, and one more thing before we head out. If this series, the Mental Health Awareness series, resonated with you, one of the best ways that you can support us is by subscribing to the podcast. You can leave us a 5-star review or share an episode with someone else in the field who might need to hear the message. Thank you again for spending this month with us, and thank you for being willing to have conversations that this profession, quite frankly, avoided for a really long time. We'll see you next time on Forensics Unfiltered.